Hey guys, this is Rodney Skinner. I just wanted to share with you a little bit, give a little tribute to the one, the only Miss Britt Allcroft. And for those of you who know, for those of you who don't know, Britt Allcroft is the creator of the series Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends and the co-creator of the PBS series Shining Time Station along with Rick Sigelkow. And so I want to tell you a little bit about how much the show really means to me and to give a heartfelt thank you to Miss Allcroft and those who were involved with Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends and those who were involved with Shining Time Station. And so for me, growing up in the 90s and having a love for trains, it was through Shining Time Station how I became a big fan of Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. And of course, the series, before it became a TV series, it was based upon the book series, the Railway series by the late, great Reverend Wilbur Awdry. And so, if if it hadn't been for Britt, the world would never know about this cheeky, cheerful blue tank engine, you know. And thank God for both Reverend Awdry and for Miss Allcroft through Reverend Awdry's stories and Britt's eye, and just bringing those characters from the book pages to life on the screen. And it was just amazing. And the show just really means a lot to me, not only for my love for trains, but also through that show, in addition to the life lessons, but the show from a musical perspective, for me being a musician and learning about just the wonderful music on the show, created by these two genius composers, Michael O'Donnell and Junior Campbell. And a big shout out to Mike and Junior for all the wonderful music from the series and all the wonderful songs as well. And so I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now if it hadn't been for those two, because they really introduced so much to the series from a musical standpoint, and Thomas and Friends was a show like no other. It's a kid's show, but it appealed to people of all ages. It wasn't like a kiddie kind of, stereotypical kiddie show or anything, but the show, the island of Sodor, it just looks like a real place. It looks like a place that you actually want to go to, and Britt's eye, her idea for bringing those books that Reverend Awdry wrote and bringing it to fruition on the screen, and the characters, how the characters looked, and the setting, the island of Sodor, it looks like a real place, a real railroad, and a real place that you want to go to. And David Mitten's eye, was just, he's a genius. And the people that Britt had in her circle in creating the series, in doing the series, to have David Mitten and his amazing eye and, all the different, camera angles and shots and everything, and how the engines look so realistic. They look like actual real steam engines, even though they were models, but they look so real, you know. And of course, the wonderful music from Mike O'Donnell and Junior Campbell, of course, And so the show really means a lot to me. and it really meant a lot to me as a kid. And loving trains and loving music, and definitely a big thank you to Miss Allcroft for introducing the world to this amazing, wonderful show, you know. And for me, when it comes to the character of Thomas, um, I look at Thomas and he's my favorite character. I love all the other characters: Gordon, Percy, James, Toby, Donald and Douglas, Bill and Ben, and the list goes on and on. Sir Topham Hatt, Harold, Bertie, Diesel, Daisy, Duck, and the list goes on, you know. But for me, Thomas really holds a special place in my heart, because I was Thomas, you know, and and looking in Thomas's eyes, I see a little bit of myself in Thomas. And so, yeah, growing up, I had a bit of a mischievous side, a bit of a fussy side of me, in addition to a kind side as well, And so, yeah, and so I feel like I could actually relate to Thomas because I was that, growing up. And so I wanted to be useful. I wanted to feel like somebody who was worth something, you know. I wanted to feel a sense of worth, a sense of usefulness as a person, you know. And and every time Sir Topham Hatt calls his engines really useful when they have succeeded a task, when they accomplished something, um, of course, the series, um, of course, the engines, just like people, make mistakes, and, you get scolded for it, and you work hard to correct it, and you prove yourself worthy in the end, you know. And that's what's beautiful about the series because it really exemplified the things that we can identify with as people, that we all make mistakes. We all, do and say things that we don't mean, that we shouldn't do, and we get scolded for it, you know. Um, and in the end, we put things right and, we prove ourselves worthy, and so that's the beautiful thing about the series. And so I really love the show. And growing up with the tapes, I had the tapes in addition to the Ertl toys as well. And so, yeah, I mean, I love the show. And I even love watching it to this day. I'm in my mid 30s now, and I love watching it for nostalgia's sake, you know. And so the show really meant a lot to me. And thank you to Miss Allcroft for bringing this character to the world. And we will never know about this cheeky blue tank engine if it hadn't been for her. In addition to Reverend Audrey's books, of course, he was the one who originated this whole thing. And it was through Britt's creative eye how she brought these characters to life. And she really, she was really someone special. And of course, with the movie Thomas and the Magic Railroad, I know that people have a lot of opinions about the movie. I enjoyed the movie when I was a kid. Watching it now, um, as far as the storyline and plot line and everything, um, I can understand where some people were coming from as far as their feelings on the movie, but it was Thomas's first movie, you know, um, which happened late '90s, early 2000s, um, and that movie, it still holds a special place in my heart today, and of course, Britt directing the movie and being the voice of Lady as well, you know, um, and hearing her voice, she has a wonderful voice. She's from England, and she resided in Santa Monica, California, I believe, and she's just Britt was just a wonderful, not only as a creative, as a visionary, but she was a beautiful soul. she really was a beautiful soul, and I could tell that she really, wanted to do something special for kids, and she accomplished it. And I'm so grateful to be have grown up with the show, and it really it really meant a lot to me, you know, and I'm sure it means a lot to you too. And so, um, I want to hear your your testimonies about the show, and just wanted to take time to honor Miss Allcroft, and we love you and we miss you. Thank you so much for all that you have done. Thank you for introducing this little blue tank engine who will always be number one to the world. Thank you.